Welcome to my latest laser episode of Business Wealth Impact. I'll be sharing these short episodes to encourage you, show you how anything is possible, and share actionable strategies. I hope you like it. Take a listen. Hello and welcome to Business Wealth Impact. Today we are going to reveal the dirty secret. What is the dirty secret that we all carry around? The dirty secret is that we all have fear. We're all afraid of something. Even billionaires are afraid that they will no longer be billionaires. People that are millionaires are afraid they will no longer be millionaires. Parents are afraid their kids won't get to the right college and go down the wrong path. People dating are afraid they're not going to find the person of their life, or they're not going to be able to have kids, or they won't get that, better job, or they won't be able to lose weight, or all sorts of fears, or they'll have the same health issue that the rest of the family had. So we all have a lot of fears every single day, and people walk around with this dirty secret that yes, they have fears too. And a lot of people are very good at hiding the fear, but that doesn't mean they don't have it. So first of all, everybody has fear, and we're all afraid of something. And the fears that you have just shift according to how well you're doing or what your station in life is or the changes. So my fear is that I will go backwards. I have a fear of going backwards. I don't want to go back. I want to always progress, move forward. So I have a fear that I might actually backslide. So that's my fear. I'm showing the whole world what my fear is. Fears vary. What's important is to understand that fear can be a really good thing, and it can be a motivating thing if you let it be. So we all have fear. Let's accept that, but don't wallow in it. Don't say, well, I'm fearful and I'm just going to cover it up and pretend I'm not fearful. You don't have to tell the whole world every single day when you're fearful, but being vulnerable about it is not a bad idea. However, it's how do we deal with the fear? Now, you'll notice that I didn't say process. I didn't say process the fear because I don't believe in processing fear. Fear is there. What do you do with it? How do you channel that? How do you make that something good? Now, fear actually is a big motivator for a lot of people in their success. There's different motivators for different types of personalities and for different people with different backgrounds. So some people, fear actually pushes them forward and they harness the fear. So it means it's a good thing. Okay, some people use anger to push them forward. That's a good thing. That's using anger in a really good way. So first of all, we all have fear. What's your fear? Be really real. What is your fear? Usually you wake up in the morning and those thoughts are usually those fears that come in the morning. Okay, now we don't process fear. There's different ways of using fear and coping with fear and harnessing fear. And I'll just give you a couple of ideas. So number one, with fear, you don't sit in it. Sitting in fear just makes it like grow, like a yeast. Okay, sitting in the fear, it's just going to grow. What do? Okay, I'm fearful of this. Great. Be real about it. Don't pretend. You don't have to tell the whole world, but be real with yourself. Then what do? You take action anyway. You take action and you drag the fears behind you. That's the first way to use fear, to harness it. You can actually transmute the fear into action. You can transmute a lot of things into action. So that's the first thing is don't wallow. I'm so fearful. What am I going to do? You can always use any emotion that you think might not be good to your advantage. Now, I was paralyzed by fear. At one point, I was so fearful when I first started my coaching business, like almost 13 years ago. I had nothing. I had 2 children that were very young at that point. I thought, what am I going to do? I thought, well, I'm really good at coaching. Why don't I become a coach? My very first coach said, you are so fearful. It's like palpable. It's like she said, but you always take action. She goes, that's the difference between you and a lot of people is you always take action. I thought, yes, I just take action anyway. Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you don't want to process fear. You don't want to say, oh, why am I fearful? Because that can go around and around and around forever. It'll go on forever. So maybe just say, okay, I'm fearful. I'm going to take action anyway and use that. Now, the other thing is to neutralize the emotion of fear, which is, again, not processing it. But you can neutralize this. I do this technique called instant shift technique, where I find where that fear is acting out in your body, because this is the deal. All emotions turn up in your body. And when you address the physical side of the emotion and neutralize it, then you become anti-fragile. Actually, that's a good book, actually, Anti-Fragile. So that's the deal. When you see anybody in this world, know that that person has some fear. They've conquered a lot of them. They take action anyway, but there's still some fear. There's fear maybe that their parents are going to die soon. There's, everybody in this world, maybe they're afraid of dying. A lot of wealthy people that you might not think have worries or fears, they do have fears. Everyone has fear. It's a human condition. So when you see that confident person that looks super confident, just always know that they have fears too, because we're all human and we're all one. And this is a universal thing. Okay. I shared my fear. My fear is rolling backwards because I'm such a forward thinking person of moving forward. And I'm like, oh no, I can't go backwards. That's just like death to me to slide back. So figure out what your fears are. You're probably hit with them every single day, and don't wallow in them. Don't sit with them. Don't sit around feeling sorry for yourself. Say, okay, this is human. I'm fearful. And all those people out there that feel you think they have it together, they have fears. Now, the other thing is this. Eleanor Roosevelt said, do something every day that scares you. I'm ad-libbing, okay, but something like that. So that means if you're not scared, you are not pushing yourself to your limits. If you're all cozy and you have no fears because you're afraid of feeling fear. Now, this is the other thing. Some people have a fear of fear. They're afraid of feeling fear. It's quite extraordinary. They're afraid of feeling the fear. Therefore, they keep everything in their familiar zone. I will never use the word comfort zone because it's not comfortable being stuck in a familiar zone. So if you're not pushing the envelope and creating fear, then you will not progress as far as you could to reach your full potential. So fear is good. Fear is a good thing if you're not using it to wallow. It is a great thing if you understand what it is, that you can harness that and reach your full potential. So figure out what your fears are. You probably already know what they are. Okay. Take action anyway, and then play a game out of it. Okay. What could I do that would actually bring on more fear? Because now I know how to cope with it. I'm going to take action anyway. Now, not a comfortable way to live, but you know what? Performing highly is never comfortable. If you want comfort, you probably don't want to listen to this podcast, okay? Because the podcast is about impact and business and wealth as well. It's also about potential. So reaching your potential means you're going to go into that fire and you're going to say, okay, I'm probably going to have fears, but let's think about the development that will happen from doing this stuff that makes me fearful. And now I've realized that I have a way I can neutralize that emotion of fear so I'm not crippled and take action. And that is what will propel you forward. Personally, I've realized if I don't have any fear, there's nothing much happening. There's no progress happening if I'm not feeling any fear. So push that envelope, play with the fear. Hey, it's normal. It's nothing to be ashamed of or to hide. Fear is not shameful. It's an indicator. It's an indicator that you're not in your familiar zone. You don't want to be in the familiar zone unless you just want to be mediocre. And nobody really wants to be mediocre. It doesn't feel good because they've done studies on this. And what makes human beings really happy is a feeling of achievement. So if you want true happiness, push the fear. I know it sounds like it's ironic, right? Push for the fear to achieve more so then you're happier. Okay, so that's the word from Jeanne Omlor today. I hope you enjoyed this and make sure that you subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Business Wealth Impact. I hope you found today's conversation insightful and life-changing. If you want to support the show and stay up to date with all of our latest episodes, the easiest way to do that is by following us on your favorite podcast platform. Just hit that follow button to never miss an episode. And if you really love the show and want to help us spread the word, leave us a review and share the podcast with your friends. Again, be sure to subscribe, and until next time, be impactful.